God bless you and thank you for joining me on another video. With everything going on around us and in the world today, you might just wonder how close we are to the end times. The easy biblical answer since Jesus ascended into heaven is this: each day that goes by, we are one day closer. At one point, though, we will be right on top of it, and so is that time here. Certainly, there is war and rumors of war going on today. In fact, the United States is at war both home and abroad, as well as rumors of going to war in some fashion with Cuba. If we do a quick survey of political events in the U.S., we see that great turmoil, the likes which this country has not seen since the Civil War, is rampant. And if it continues unabated, Civil War 2.0 will be inevitable. For example, Susan Rice, on a podcast in February, is, as this article shows, promising revenge against voters, business executives, and appointees who support the current president, Donald Trump. In an attempt to save their own behind, we see that some Republicans are willing to jump ship to save themselves if this thing goes full tilt. Here is an article speaking about how some of them are trying to get amnesty put into a bill for DHS funding. Why you even have stars getting into the mix and swearing revolution and revenge. Here is Giancarlo Esposito willing to see the deaths of 50 million people. Then there is Ken Jennings, a TV game show host who swears allegiance to whoever promises to prosecute Trump. How about Jim Acosta, a former news correspondent and current YouTuber, also promising the prosecution of Trump and Republicans? The rhetoric has a measurable fallout. For example, we see this news article. Someone stole an ambulance, set it on fire, and drove it into an ICE facility. Then there is the threat of medical war on dissenters to their opinion. Here we have a nurse suggesting chemical warfare by drugging ICE agents. One wonders who the next class of people will be who deserve such an attack. Certainly, the medical field has been controversial for at least a decade or so. It's definitely in the realm of possibility, especially when we see articles such as this. A 26-year-old man was able to seek and be approved for a voluntary end-of-the-road procedure, we'll say, for the YouTube censors. Looking over the article, it appears he may have suffered from an undiagnosed traumatic brain injury from an auto accident when he was 17 years old, dealt with seasonal depression, and was legally blind to complications from diabetes. Sounds more like encouraged state-sponsored termination to me. Then there is war abroad. We have seen war with Venezuela and the removal of the Venezuelan president, and at least some talk about making that country another state. We are currently blockading Cuba with the intent of a regime change there. Will there also be talk of making them a state as well when it is all said and done? Let's not forget the attempts to get Greenland. What I find to be interesting about all the talk about adding states to the Union comes from a video I once saw about whether the U.S. would exist in the end times. One of the places where the U.S. might be in the Bible is in Nebuchadnezzar's dream mentioned in Daniel 7, verse 6. The preacher generally dissented from Schofield, among others, on who the beasts were. He pointed out that he believed the first beast to be England and the second beast to be Russia, leaving the third beast to be the U.S. The third beast has 4 wings and 4 heads. He stated that the U.S. would need to have 52 states to be divisible by 4 to get 13. Why? Well, because the U.S. started with 13 colonies, and the number 13 plays into several aspects of our country. As I said, we started with 13 colonies. So you have the Gadsden flag from 1775, better known as the Don't Tread on Me flag. It has 13 letters in its motto. The Confederate flag of the South, also known as the Rebel flag, has 13 stars on it against the background of an X, which could also be loosely interpreted as a broken cross. Then there is the $1 bill. If you look on the back, the eagle on the right has 13 stars above its head. The motto, E Pluribus Unum, on the ribbon in its beak has 13 letters. There are 13 stripes on the shield, 13 arrows clenched in its right talon, 13 leaves on the olive branch, and 13 olives on the branches. On the left side of the bill is a pyramid with 13 layers. It certainly makes for an interesting thought. There may be something to it if we do pick up 2 more states, but whether it makes any hay remains to be seen. Remote as it may seem, there was an unusual article posted some time back about Russia offering free rein in Venezuela for Ukraine. Is there a backroom deal that was done? Time will tell. Then we have some interesting tidbits on the technology front. The federal government, under the guise of safety, is mandating a kill switch on new vehicles so they can turn it off in certain situations, such as a stolen car, drunk driver, etc., etc. There was some pushback on it, but you can see by this article that it failed and the kill switch will proceed. I'm sure that the government will never use this technology to stop people they disagree with from driving or limit your driving in the name of saving the environment or any other number of things. No, I'm certain it will be all above board, with no overreach at all. I mean, they wouldn't shut off your vehicle and not let you drive unless you took the mark in your hand or on your forehead, right? Sure, they won't. After all, they are here to help you. Here is an interesting one on surveillance that you can't see. Basically, he made an infrared filter that shows how different cameras, such as the one on your phone, can watch you without you knowing at all, even in dark rooms or blackout conditions. I just love the wording on this article about AI. AI researchers have invented incantations that are too dangerous to release to the public. It's an unusual word choice to describe how they get the AI to misbehave by using, as they call it, incantations. One wonders just how deep those incantations go and what it means in a broader sense when we read articles such as this. A data center powered by human brain cells complete with cerebral spinal fluid that has to be changed out daily. Truly a science fiction come-to-life merger of man and machine. In addition, there is likely only one source for these brain cells, and that would be a byproduct of my body, my choice, if you get my meaning. Then we have the ever-present attack on God. Here is an article where the Freedom from Religion people are going after a school district for allowing LifeWise Academy to teach the Bible to public school students during a special time in the day. They claim students and parents have been bullied in an attempt to get them to attend. Gee, I wonder if this so-called bullying is along the lines of asking, "Are you saved?" I mean, we wouldn't want people to get saved at all, would we? How about a Texas politician who claims God is non-binary, neither male or female? Clearly, they have never read the Bible, as it clearly states God identifies as male, hence God the Father. And after all, if in this country a man can play make-believe and identify as a woman, and we are expected to take that seriously and honor it, shouldn't we also then respect and affirm God identifying as male? Of course, common sense questions are rarely given common sense answers. Common sense took a hike in this country and ought to be put on a milk carton until it's found again. I'd say things so far are starting to check off boxes in the end days columns. We have wars and rumors of wars, and we have the beast system being built before our eyes. But those aren't the only things going on that make you wonder about the end times. Almost straight out of Acts 2:19, and I will shew thee wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. We have had a multitude of fireballs over the last 3 weeks, to the point of AP penning an article on how many they are. Of course, they say in the article that there are several thousand fireballs per day, but they mostly occur over the oceans and where people don't live. Sure. Even KXAN wrote an article on the multiple fireballs across the U.S. on March 17th. The first of the fireballs was in California back in January. The second happened over Cleveland, Ohio. The third was again in California. The fourth in Michigan. The fifth in the Pacific Northwest. And the most recent one, just before I recorded the video, is number 6, and that occurred in Northwest Ohio. Some of these are quite large, like cannonball large, such as this article says about one in Texas that crashed through someone's roof on March 21st. So how close are we? Well, we are so close to the return of Christ that you ought to talk to everyone you know about it and get them saved before he does return. He is coming as a thief in the night. It's going to be exponentially tougher for the people left behind to get saved. They won't be able to do it by faith as we do now. Instead, it will be through works at that point. For the saved, it's really not a huge deal. We should all be excited about his imminent return. And while we still have time, get as many people as we can to go up with us. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to support my ministry, then don't buy me a coffee or send me a PayPal. I don't take donations. Instead, go down to your local school and pay off some kid's lunch debt. Perhaps buy someone in need tires for their car all the way around. Or go to a local apartment complex and catch somebody up on rent if you can. Whatever you do, do it in secret so that your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. Keep it a secret, just between you and God, the Father, as a way to worship him and say thank you for everything he has done and ever will do for you. God bless you. See you next time. Bye-bye.